All right, so I just got back from watching The Breadwinner, the latest family comedy from Sony and TriStar. But what's special about this one is it stars comedian Nate Bargatze, who I am a fan of. I haven't watched everything he does, but all the stuff from him that I have watched have been pretty funny. And he's one of the most famous comedians right now. He's kind of the thing. So there's a movie about him coming out, and it's not about him, but his character's called Nate, and it's based off of a lot of real life experiences. And it's basically the age old story of, the breadwinner dad all of a sudden has to become the stay at home dad because the mom is super successful in her entrepreneurial business invention. She invents this device that can help kids keep track of chores, and it becomes super successful. So she goes off to become a businesswoman, and now he has to stay home and look after the family. And chaos ensues because he's been the breadwinner his whole life, well, most of his life, so he doesn't know how to run a house, basically, and look after his three daughters. And if that sounds like a familiar premise to you, it's because there's been plenty of movies like this before. One of the most famous examples, they've been doing this premise in the 80s with Michael Keaton in Mr. Mom. I think that's the most popular one. I grew up with Daddy Daycare, which is, a similar premise to this. Dads looking after kids and stuff like that. That stars Eddie Murphy. And I love that movie, but that's just because I'm blinded by nostalgia for it. But it's a very similar premise to this. So, walking in, I was hoping that there would be some other twist or they do something different with this idea of, working dad turned stay at home dad, and they don't. They don't. It's that movie. If you've seen any of the other movies that are like this, you've seen this one. They do the same storyline, the same lessons, all this stuff. Now, I will say the movie is funnier than I thought it would be. Now, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised because Nate Bargatze is funny, but you never know. The material might not be good. And I don't know if it's improv or the jokes really just were well written, but it was a lot funnier than I thought it'd be. Now, not every joke is a banger, but, I'd say maybe, 2 out of 5, maybe 2.5 out of 5 made me laugh, which isn't, great, but it's better than I was expecting. So maybe that's why I'm praising the comedy a little bit. The performances are all really good. They're fine. There's not much to say about this movie. I don't hate it, but I don't think very many people besides kids that grow up with it are going to like this movie all that much because it doesn't do that much to stand out from the crowd. I keep thinking of like the Lego movie, which was a movie that just screamed corporate kids movie, but it was so unique in its animation style, its humor, its story even, that it stood out from the crowd of generic kids movies. And I feel like, if you're gonna do this premise, you have to do something new with it. Otherwise, it's gonna fade into the background. And I think, like I said, except for the kids that grow up watching this movie is going to fade into obscurity a little bit. I don't think many people are going to remember it. It's not, I want to rip my eyes out of my sockets boring movie. Like, they showed a trailer for, this Paw Patrol movie coming out that just looks awful. Just like, no one will enjoy this. No. But I think parents would be passably entertained by this. It's not just jokes for kids. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be anyone's favorite movie. So if you need to take your kids to the theater and your options are limited, this is a good, choice. But if you don't, and you don't need to take them to the theater, you can wait till streaming for this movie. Otherwise, I don't really see anyone else really looking forward to this movie. So yeah, I will say though, this movie is very Nate Bargatze. He's a Tennessee Titans fan. And there's a couple scenes in this movie that are heavy Tennessee Titans. And I just think it's hilarious that the Tennessee Titans in real life just changed their logo. So this movie's already dated because it's got the old logo all over the place. And now we got this new logo, new color scheme, and all that stuff. But that's beside the point anyway. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on The Breadwinner.